In the 80s I was a big Turtles fan, and I still know all the names today. There's Michael, Lionel, David and Rachel. And Konami wanted a slice of the pizza and made several Turtle games. But does Turtles in Time kick shell, or does it belong in the sewers? Let's have a little look.
In the early 90s, beat-em-ups were aplenty, and the Turtles fit nicely into this category. Of course, there has to be a story involving the Shredder and Krang. In this game, Krang has stolen the Statue of Liberty, and the Turtles go after him to get it back. You can choose from Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. Sadly, there isn't much difference between any of them. The weapon reach may differ slightly, but they all perform the same moves. You have your character's energy in the top left, as well as your score and lives remaining. The combat itself is limited with just a punch button that will deliver a series of attacks, and sometimes will result in an enemy being bashed side to side on the floor or being thrown towards a screen. There's a jump kick and a special move for the times you may get surrounded, and that's executed by pressing the jump and punch button together. Throughout the levels you may come across pizza boxes that contain energy, or one has a bomb on it, which I first avoided as I thought it may take health away. Turns out it gives you an attack that will last for a few seconds, taking out any enemies that come into contact with you. After playing this for a while I wondered what it has to do with time. It's only when you get to the Technodrome that you find out. Once the Shredder is defeated, you'll be sent back in time, where you'll fight yet more foot soldiers in a different timeline.
Prehistoric Turtlesaurus.
You'll be sent back as far as prehistoric times, where you'll still fight foot soldiers, but also avoid attacks from the likes of pterodactyls. In each time zone you'll eventually fight a boss. These will be typical characters from the cartoon series such as Slash, Tokar and Razor, Leatherhead and of course Rocksteady and Bebop. They all have energy meters in the centre of the screen. This can take some time to wear down, especially Rocksteady and Bebop's on the pirate ship. I'm sorry to say, but this game didn't grip me that much. It just seemed to drag on a little bit. It looks amazing with its bright colours, nice sound effects and really good music, which is what you'd expect in a Konami game. But the lack of moves made this game a bit boring. I'd like to have seen grapple moves and better special attacks. Just slashing enemies constantly is fine for a little while, but I'd like to be immersed in combat and grab them and perform unique moves for each turtle. I'd like to see a couple of special attacks for each character that really impress. Maybe a bit like what they did in Tournament Fighters game. The levels just seemed too long, and fighting the same enemies all the time got dull very quickly. I know it's hard with a series like this, where it was only the foot soldiers that were a small enemy, and all the bad guys couldn't be repeatedly scattered through every level. Maybe they could have made some new ones to beat up. It's still a great game for its time, but it could have been so much better.